Hey, what's poppin' everybody? This is Roll4, and welcome to another Chillin' Rain deck profile. Today we're going to be featuring a Stage 2 Pokemon. We're not really supposed to be using Stage 2 Pokemon, but the rebel in me still tries to use them and make them work. And it is going to be this Tsareena Grass Stage 2. One of the cooler grass Pokemon from Sun and Moon for sure, the entire line. And I neglected mentioning this card in my emerging decks. I thought about it. I was very aware about it, but I just thought to myself, hey, you know what? It's probably not going to work. But after playing with it a little bit, it's actually probably a lot more favorable than something like Gallade with Gardevoir and the other like regular Pokemon options. So first things off, its stats. They're very weak. 140 HP is pretty terrible. It basically means that almost every hit is gonna one hit KO this Pokemon, which is not good. Something like 160 or 170 would have been a lot better, even if that isn't a lot either in my book. But 140 is definitely bad. This is like Generation 4 Hard Gold, Soul Silver Prime HP standards. But anyway, this is what we got. To retreat also isn't great, but it works with one attack, so usually won't worry about moving it around and stuff. If your opponent tries to get it stuck, you can just attach the energy and you're ready to go. So it's going to be done in one shot, so the retreat doesn't matter. It attacks with one energy, so that doesn't matter either. So the retreat, not too bad. And the fire weakness is pretty much standard. Now, Solar Beam is completely useless. We're not going to use that. The main reason you're going to use this card is basically Tread On. So this attack does 50 damage for each retreat cost in your opponent's active Pokemon. It starts at 10 and it's going to do 50 for each retreat. So we've seen cards like this before. Milotic from Rebel Clash has a similar attack. There's a Tangrowth from Cosmic Eclipse, I believe, that does this. But they don't really do, or Tangrowth anyway, doesn't really do as much damage as this guy. Tangrowth just needs a basic energy. This needs a double colorless, but we can easily meet this cost with Twin Energy and Triple Acceleration Energy and DC and Expanded. But you have a 50 times timer, so that's definitely a lot more damage for sure. We also get this new stadium that we didn't really have when Tangrowth came about from Rebel Clash, the Galar Mine. This was meant to sort of help Milotic, I guess, but hasn't really done much. The tree cost of both active Pokemon is 2 more. So between this, heavy retreating Pokemon, maybe even Absol to help, Tsareena can do a lot of damage, like even 300 damage plus. So this is basically its hope. Like it's going to die in one shot, that it's a stage 2 Pokemon, but hopefully it can get one hit knockouts on Vs and even VMAXs. That's going to be the hope for the success of this deck. So it's basically a simple strategy. Just going to max this out, 4 copies, even doing 4 as opposed to 3 for this stage 2. And then just a lot of support to help it out. The basic Pokemon is going to be this Bounce Sweet, 60 HP. I think this is the best one because we can actually use Splash as well if we start with this, and then we just can start attacking altogether. And all the damage you can do matters. A little bit of damage counters here and there. It's going to help you get that big KO after you make a big attack with him or her. So that's the point. The stage 1 is going to be from Unified Minds though, Steny. Once again, you can use Double Slap and it has 90 HP. There's a few other ones that have 80, 1 retreat, but they don't matter and they don't really have any usable attack. We only have special energies in this deck, so that's why we just need attacks that require the double colorless mark. Like any basic grass energies, we can't use them. So this is the best one. Looks really cute as well. I mean, this really looks like it would be like a female-only Pokemon, but I think it comes as a male as well. I mean, makes sense. But it really looks like a chick. This looks like a dress. These look like sort of boots, I guess. Like anyway, whatever. Let's not get crazy. So this is the line 4, 1, and 4, basic stuff. And then for support, help us set up and draw, I have a Cinccino line 3 and 4. Believe it or not, I tried this deck with a Manectric line, just a stage 1 that lets you draw 3 cards when it evolves. But of course it didn't work out, so we have to switch to more conventional stuff. Cinccino with Make Do is going to be a lot more consistent. You can just discard a card and draw 2 cards every turn. You don't just get this when it evolves. And it's quite good. Energy Assist won't be very good this time around because we don't really have any basic energies to attach. I mean, if you can do damage with it, maybe it'll come up. You'll have to attack with it. It's a handy attack. I guess it's better than having something like cost 5 and then you can't use it. But this card is in here for Make Do. The Cinccino is going to be from the Sword and Shield set as well. Tail Whap, I like the 30 for 1. Once again, as opposed to the other ones that do fancy stuff. This one is just better like this. So this is the Cinccino line. And then I've got just 2 more Pokemon for support. You got the double Absol with Dark Ambition. It kind of combines what I've sort of planned in this deck. Your opponent's active Pokemon is a basic Pokemon. The retreat cost is 1 more. So it's not going to be good against VMAXs, but it is going to be very effective against regular Vs, Tag Team GXs, just basic Pokemon in general, big basic Pokemon. You're going to get basically a 50 boost in damage, like with the 1 retreat cost they give them. It gives them. And of course, if they don't have switching outlets, then it becomes hell to retreat. So, good stuff. And then Mew for bench protection. Mew is very crucial because against Rapid Strike Urshifu for VMAX, its snipe is really going to fuck us up. So making sure to block this is good. And plus it's just an easy basic Pokemon we can fetch with our balls. You guys are going to see. I've got Professor Oak in here as well. So it gives me an additional different type to search. So let's just move on. These are all the Pokemon. Pretty straightforward. So the trainers is going to be a lot of ball and Pokemon searching consistency cards as always. Max out the level ball. In this deck, it makes perfect sense. We can search all of the small guys. Can even search Cinccino, which is great. Can search Mew as well. Can't search Absol or Tsareena, of course, but that's where the other cards come in. We can search Stene, though. It's good. So 4 level ball. Then I've got 3 quick ball. Quick ball is going to be another method to get our basic Pokemon, and you need to fill your bench with the basic Pokemon that you need as soon as possible. We got to get multiple of these. We got to get multiple of Cinccino so we can evolve into multiple Cinccinos. Got to get everybody, and maybe even get like one of this guy too could help. And Mew, of course. Like if you see you're playing against Rapid Strike Urshifu for VMAX, you should want to get Mew as fast as possible, because if they know what they're doing, because a lot of players really don't know how to use Rapid Strike Urshifu for VMAX, they just snipe the wrong things. But if they get the dude out and they know how to snipe the right Pokemon to snipe, they're gonna fuck you up really bad. So this is the point. And double communication next. This is gonna be a method to get basic Pokemon and evolution Pokemon. I've got a pretty big Pokemon skeleton, as you guys can see, 19 Pokemon. So communication is going to be live most of the time. We can use it to get basic Pokemon in the early game and then get evolution Pokemon in the late game once I fill my bench and have extra Pokemon in hand. And then of course we got to max out the evolution incense. Makes sense, get my main stage 2, get my Cinccinos, make the deck as fast and consistent as possible. So evolution incense, I mean, I'm pretty confident to say that maxing out is just perfect. You can't go wrong. Don't even bother with 3, just max it out. Don't even think about it. Okay. We got some typical techs that you got to run in a stage 2 deck, like the rare candy. Use this to get our stage 2 out. I've got the ordinary rod to recover Pokemon. No energies in this case. We don't have any basic energies, but this is still going to be good to recover Pokemon. I max out the stage 2, which I don't usually do. I usually do 3. But in this case, I think I'm good with maxing out. And between having 4 copies and the ordinary rod, we should have enough attackers to go throughout the entire game. So that's good. And then let's go down below. I mean, I don't really have any other fancy stuff. There isn't really a lot of space. I do double switch just to have a switching outlet, because our energy attachments are valuable. So if they do want to get your dude stuck, like maybe they put something like Absol in the active position, or even Cinccino, you don't want to sacrifice your energy to move them out of the way. I mean, I just have 8 energies 4 of them which are only compatible with evolution Pokemon. So even though it might not seem like it because your opponent doesn't know your deck list, I know my own deck list, and if they do figure out that, okay, I can exploit pulling useless Pokemon in the active position, it's going to be really bad. So we're going to counter this with having a few different switching outlets so that we don't get stuck. So double switch is going to be my out, and I also have even one bird keeper too, which we're going to talk about later. But basically, yeah, these are the item cards. I don't think I missed anything. There are no tool scrappers, no tools, nothing of that sort of nature. We just don't have the space. I don't even have enough energies, as you guys can see. I just have 8, which is the lowest that I basically went with. I don't think I've ever played a deck with 8 energies, or if I did, it was a very long time ago. I usually go 10, maybe 9, the worst case scenario. But in this case, we had to go with 8. Because I don't want to sacrifice anything that's in here. Like every trainer, every item is in here for its purpose. The Pokemon are in here for their purpose. I guess maybe you could drop an Absol if you like, but I don't want to drop. I want to have the second one. And the supporters are going to be really important as well. Before we get into the supporters though, the stadium, I touched upon this a little bit. It's the Galar Mine. You have to absolutely max this out, in my opinion. It's the main stadium. We want to have this down to increase our opponent's retreat costs on their Pokemon. If you can't have this out and really utilize the additional retreat, then you're just relying on luck, like what sort of Pokemon your opponent is using. So if they're using Pokemon with 2 retreat, then Tsareena only does 110 for 2, essentially, for 1 attachment. And that's not going to be great. Now, if you have the Galar Mine, all of a sudden that's a 4 retreat cost. So that's 210. So that's a night and day difference. Doing 210, you can get a lot of 1-hit KOs on relevant V Pokemon. And if you increase it even further, then you get even bigger KOs. Like if they're basic and you're trying to go for that 200 range, having one of these guys around, you're at 260, you get those important 1-hit KOs on regular Vs. Now, against VMAXs, unfortunately, you can't really do much. You're just going to have to get 2-hit KOs and rely on their retreat, their natural retreat, and Galar Mine boosting their retreat. So hopefully you can do enough. But I mean, against Pokemon with low retreat, then you're basically screwed. This is going to help you out, I guess, give them some retreat. But we're basically relying on the opposition. Now, thankfully, most of the relevant Pokemon do have decent retreats, like at least 2 or even higher. But I'm going to talk about the matchups later on. But to conclude, Galar Mine, you got to max it out, no questions asked. You need to have this around enough copies so that when your opponent plays a counter stadiums, you can counter it right back. Make sure you have it out to get the additional damage. Okay, and now for the supporters, we run some typical stuff like the triple Marnie disruption, let you shuffle and draw. You need it. 1 Erica's Hospitality, good solid draw supporter if your opponent has a big bench, but can't be a nuisance as well if you can't utilize it, or if your opponent doesn't have many Pokemon. So that's why I only do 1. And then we got the 1 Magnolia, just 1 because we don't want to be discarding our resources. So this is just a 1 of supporter in here. 1 Skylight, get me anything, great card, can get Incense, can get Level Ball, Rare Candy, you name it, we can get it with Skyla. And then I've got the 1 Professor Oak setup. Now this is another method to fetch our basic Pokemon and just set them up. And early game it's going to be great. I have various types of Pokemon, Colorless, Grass, Darkness, and even Psychic. So we should be able to grab 1 of each of everything. So it becomes a good card. And then late game, of course, if you're not going to need it, you can easily discard it with Cinccino. So it's very straightforward. I thought about playing more, but I don't really want to sacrifice stuff like Level Ball and Quick Ball because, I mean, I don't know, like, I just don't know. I feel like just having the 1, if we see it early, it's great. If not, I mean, it is what it is. It helps, but, I mean, Level Ball, you can fetch Cinccino, of course. Quick Ball is a discard outlet as well, and you can grab whatever you need. Like you can grab of multiple different types. Like you got like a bounce rate, you want another one, like you want to get a few. It depends on what you open with as well. So its limitation, it can be a bit annoying. We can work with it in this deck, but this is why I only do one. Just have one around and should be good enough. Okay, man, I'm talking so much. The next supporter is Bird Keeper. I touched upon this a little bit. This is a good supporter because it's a switching outlet, but it also lets me draw 3 cards. So it's good in this sense that I can use it as a switch if your opponent tries to get me stuck. And we can also use it as a sort of chair and draw 3. I don't really want to use Avery in this deck because maybe they have big Pokemon with big retreats on the bench, and we're going to want to try and pick on them so we can get an easy KO. Finish the game off, you never know. I've got the one boss's orders as well. So that's why I didn't want to use Avery in this deck, because we don't have as many flexible options. But Bird Keeper is good, serves a double purpose in this deck. So that's why I do one. And then the last supporter is this guy, boss's orders. Win games, you only have one. You don't have Eldegoss V, but should be good enough. You save it. You're not going to be discarding it, of course, if you must. We only have one of this. We can sort of control what we draw and discard with Cinccino. So this is why the deck is built like this. And then energies, 4 twin, 4 triple acceleration energy, and it essentially means Tsareena can attack with 1 energy. Get big KOs. Basically, try and get 1-hit KOs on Vs. Maybe get like 2-shot VMAXs and just finish the game in a few attacks. That's your goal. 8 energies should be enough. You should be able to see them since you're going to be drawing cards with Cinccino as well. I would feel safe with 9 or 10, of course, but to be honest, there isn't really any energy that's going to help us. I don't want to do double attachment on a Pokemon like this because it's going to die in one shot. We need to be as fast as possible, and the only energies that enable her to attack with 1 attachment is these. So we're going to max them out, draw them with Cinccino, and just hope for some good results. If this was expanded, obviously you run DC and maybe take a few triple accelerations as well. But this is a standard build, so this is all the energies I have. And this is basically the deck, guys. Now, I really want to quickly talk about some matchups. Now, surprisingly, this deck hasn't been too bad as a Stage 2 deck. It's actually really good. I feel like this is how Grimmsnarl should have been. Like, have this sort of a strong ability, the ability it has, but work with only 1 attachment. It's because he needs 2 attachments that you can't really set him up quickly enough and your opponent fucks you up. But because Tsareena can work with 1 attachment, it's a lot more effective. Like, it can actually retaliate. You just slap 1 energy and then you can do high damage and put the pressure up. So against Arceus Zacian, you can do a lot of damage. Arceus has the resistance, but it has a 2 retreat cost. And with with Absol, you'll be able to get the KO. Against other basic Pokemon and other like V-based decks that are just basics, you're going to do a lot of damage if you manage to keep your stadium around. One matchup that is absolutely terrible, your worst matchup, are Bronzong variants. Particularly Bronzong with Corviknight. Corviknight has the fucking grass resistance. I'm pretty sure it has the grass resistance. It has free retreat. It's a VMAX. They basically control the game, move the energies around, heal the Pokemon with Cheryl. You might as well surrender from the beginning. You will never be able to beat that matchup. They would have to brick. They would have to be a terrible player. It's an impossible matchup. Everything else, though, it's kind of fair game. If they can't really heal and control the damage you can do, heal, and then move energies around like with Bronzong, then it's basically fair game. Grass, you do hit some Darkness Pokemon for weakness as well, so that's good. If they would try to use, I guess, Weavile GX, nobody uses that in Standard now. But that's basically it. Other Pokemon with big retreat, you're going to be really effective against them, like Tag Team GXs with 3 retreat, and then you boost the damage further. You're going to be really good. And it's just a very fast stage 2, at the very least, because you can just slap an energy and then it works. So this is the deck, guys. I'm having some decent fun with it. I'm looking forward to showing you guys some matches with it. And that's basically it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like, share this video with your friends, and I'll see you on the matches. Thank you guys for watching. Wazay!